The dog cried out in pain from being struck by the man. It just wants to beg for some food for its owner. It left the place in disappointment. It used all its strength to crawl back to its owner. This time it just wanted to rest, but it thought of all the beautiful memories with its owner. It had been abandoned since it was little. Luckily this family took it in. At first, the man was very afraid of the dog, but his daughter insisted on keeping it. She named it Happy. The man had no choice but to agree. He even built a doghouse for it with his own hands. When the family barbecued together, they would even leave the tastiest piece for it. But as Happy grew day by day, it was no longer as cute as when it was small. The daughter gradually began to dislike it. From then on, only the man took care of it. But suddenly the man was laid off from his company. Even worse, the man was diagnosed with serious heart disease. He could only rely on medication to survive. The man sat by the river, feeling extremely helpless and lost. At that moment, Happy picked up a lottery ticket. It somehow won the first prize. He had wanted to take his wife and daughter out to relax, but what he got instead was a divorce agreement. From then on, the man only had Happy left. They depended on each other, traveling everywhere. One day, the man saw a boy trying to steal bread at the supermarket. He immediately stopped him. Not only did he buy bread for him, but also kindly let him stay in his car. But the next morning, the man found that all his money had been stolen. What saddened him wasn't the loss of money, but that the child couldn't bring himself to trust an adult. Not long after, Happy suddenly fell ill. The man rushed to take it to the hospital, but he couldn't afford the medical fees. He sold everything he could, just to scrape together enough money. Happy's illness was cured, but the man's illness worsened. His medicine also ran out. The man arrived at a guest house, and noticed the owner was also a dog lover. He knew he didn't have much longer to live. He spent all his remaining money buying Happy's favorite food. Then he entrusted Happy to the owner. He wrote Happy's name on the doghouse. After arranging everything, he turned to leave. But at that moment, Happy, who never barked, suddenly barked frantically. It wanted to follow the man. After all, they only had each other. In the end, the man couldn't bear to abandon Happy. They drove into the wilderness, using up the last of the gasoline, deciding to spend the rest of their lives there. There were more people picnicking there. They survived by picking up discarded food. Although life was hard, the two were still able to stay together. Soon winter arrived. The man's condition worsened. He didn't want Happy to suffer with him, so he struggled to open the car door for it. He wasn't afraid of death. He just couldn't stop worrying about his dog. Happy decided to brave the snowstorm to look for food. At night, it came back with food in its mouth, placing it in the man's arms, hoping he could take a bite. But the man knew his days were numbered. With Happy by his side, he closed his eyes forever. Happy only knew that its owner seemed to be sleeping. It still went out every day to search for food, until the car was filled with food. One day, it saw people picnicking in the distance. It remembered the times it shared with its owner, as if the owner is still calling it. It was too hungry and couldn't help but approach. But a man struck it hard with a wooden stick. It didn't attack the humans. It just left in disappointment with wounds on its body. Limping, Happy tried to find its way home. Tired, it lay down to rest. In a daze, it heard its owner calling. It forced itself to keep moving. Finally, it returned to the car, crawled beside its owner, and stayed there. In the end, Happy snuggled next to its owner, and closed its eyes forever.